Okay, how about a little more Mavlink fun? Mavlink via Wi-Fi. Oh, what a nice dream. So, with 2.04 of Wi-Fi installed into the Micro TX V2 in Mavlink now, you saw when I installed this, we did have TCP server and UDP now. So let's see if we can get this going. So what the first thing I want to do, I think this is pretty much ready to do its thing. And I think the software can stay right here. We'll see if it interferes. So we'll go into Windows 10 Wi-Fi and we'll connect to that transmitter. And if we look at that transmitter and the information down here, here's the address we really need. It is 192.168.4.1. And we're going to have to also remember this socket, 5760. So we'll go into Mission Planner, TCP, connect, 192.168.4.1. Okay. Socket 5760. Okay. And off it goes. I have been playing with this. This seems to work better. Haven't played with it much. I've played with the UDP flavor of it too. This particular connection is just a little slower than the last one. Last one I had ran about 88 almost constantly, which is pretty high. But again, because short distance between the transmitter and the receiver here, and you never can tell if it's overdriving the receiver. I'm talking about the receiver in the Micro TX. They are both transceivers after all. Could be causing some slowness. I really want to get this outside. First of this week it's just 50 something mile per hour gusts around here, and today it started raining. So if nothing else, just get it outside, get it separated by 50 feet or more. I didn't get that error before. Array cannot be found or something. So that's a program error. No, I didn't get that before. We're going to leave this running anyway for kicks and grins. We've still got a connection here. We've still got a perfect connection with the Mission Planner. We look at our link status up here. We're about half speed. If 1.5 kbytes per second is our norm that we've seen on a straight USB cable or telemetry radios, that's getting up there. Just the 1K was 2/3 of the fastest speed it can be. This seems to be a little higher than this. Again, I suspect some latency in the program may be figured into this. And if you remember, this wouldn't really be workable for me at 60, although people say it is. And I can see somewhat it is. I think that battery voltage is correct, and I think the sat count is correct, etc., etc., etc. All these other things will solve themselves when they start getting some actual parameters into the math formulas. So this shows much more quality than I see here. Again, a small quad this may be completely workable, especially or even a very, very small airplane. I don't know how you're going to fly a flight controller and GPS and stuff in it, but if you're kind of looking at flying within the confines of a football field, maybe two football fields side by side, I'll give you that much, which isn't much, but it's like a park flyer. Uh, I don't know. I cannot find a good place for this kind of connection, but it's better every time I go in and look at it. Let's go back into here real quick and look at this. I thought these would be updating. Maybe they will if I come back out, come back in. Maybe I shouldn't have this program open. We'll find out. Now we got some statistics in there. Whatever uplink CNT, uplink count, 1761 of something with no uplink loss. So as far as talking to the platform, looks like this thinks it's got zero loss. As far as download, of these many, I'd say, packets downloaded, got 17% loss. Again, I'm not too sure about these. I haven't found any documentation on them yet. Now we do have higher numbers. Still, uplink is totally like cool. Wish the downlink was. So it looks like you can refresh this. $19.93. I'm just seeing if it's incrementing. 2033 seems to be incrementing. So it's a snapshot when you come into here. Let's look at this Pro. I haven't seen any documentation on this, so I'm going to kind of leave this alone. 2023. Looks like switching between these windows does not get you a new snapshot here. So we'll go back, go in, and we'll look at our next snapshot. 2145, still 0. So it sounds like I can speak to it really well, but I can't hear a thing. Well, I can only hear 4 out of 5 things it says, which isn't terrible. I mean, we're talking about something here that's not really deep control. So while I'm in here, I'm going to quickly come out here for kicks and grins and disconnect. Come in here. Oops, I should have disconnected here. It automatically disconnected me. And I'm going to change this from Mavlink to UDP. And we'll go back here. I'm actually going to cycle the transmitter for kicks and grins. Fire it right back up. It will bind with the receiver again. I'm just waiting for these to be green. There we go. Go back in here. Yep, I'm at UDP. These have been zeroed. 5760 UDP. So now then we'll switch this over to UDP and 5760. We don't have to have a IP address for that. So click OK. Oops, we didn't connect. I didn't connect. My bad. We'll have to come back in here, and connect again. Connect. That will work much better, I assume. We'll try that again. UDP connect on 5760. UDP, and this is the same results I had earlier. UDP just didn't have the link quality that TCP does. Matter of fact, this isn't really being that effective, is it? Well, we'll just cancel out that for kicks and grins. That'll take a second. Oops. That could be one of the reasons. Connect. Can't connect to this network. Now, why would that be? UDP. Wow. Well, I'll cycle the transmitter again. And perhaps I should leave this program. 2 or 3 programs trying to talk to the same device. Can seem to work sometimes, but really not be the best thing to be trying. TBS Crossfire connect. It is connected. Just doesn't show it down here, probably because of the Norton. Wow. There we are. We're connected. Typical computer stuff. Okay. Now then, that's working better. Actually, this one seems to be working better than the TCP did in this video, but also in the way the TCP did when I tested all of this before I started making the video, which the link quality just seems to mash around. It's getting in parameters pretty well. It certainly starts getting parameters as quickly, and I don't see a lot of already gots in here. Probably start doing it now that I said that. It's not quite as fast as the telemetry radios or any connection that's running 100% down here. And when this reads in, we'll go up and see our link stats. Already got, see? There you go. I caused those. Open mouth, insert foot. So, is it workable? Yeah. For a football field square, 2 football fields next to each other, probably is. On a quad, something that surely won't get out of that area. It could be workable. Won't say it isn't. Again, I don't think this packet information, maybe this is what it's really doing, and this, it's true. You can fly it down to 60. Like I've always said, I started coming back previously when it said 70. And you can set a fail-safe. You can set a fail-safe on all this stuff. Technically, if everything is correct, you can throw a platform in the air and have enough fail-safes on it where you can put up a geo-fence also. Just all sorts of ways for it to fly away and actually end up coming back, as long as the GPS is working and the flight controller and everything's set up correctly, which is what you have to find out in the first few flights. Hopefully it is that way. So this 83%, 76% here, 70 down here now. So sort of workable. Better. It's getting better. Each new change gets better. So this is UDP, and we saw the TCP/IP, TCP server way, fashion to connect. They're both about the same. Guess I could try QGroundControl real quick. I haven't worked with QGroundControl very much at all. I've had it up on a couple of flights, running Mission Planner and QGroundControl at the same time, and looking at what they did. But you can see here, waiting for vehicle connection. So there's no connection here, but just kind of going through this stuff yesterday for a while. I think I found that in QGroundControl you'll add a link, unnamed. It's a UDP connection. I'll try that. UDP. Listen for port. What was that? 5760. And add target hosts. I don't know. This one. Okay, I'll type something in there. Add. Nothing is happening. Okay, down here. UDP on port 5760. Still waiting for vehicle connection. Connect.
Manual flight mode.
Oops, that's pretty damn loud. And it's reading in perimeters. Oh, somebody asked about UDP on QGroundControl. I need to do something about those speakers though. It's about 50% reading in perimeters, the screen line right here, which is, it's going pretty well. It seems to be about 50% of a USB, a hardwired wire cable, which is good. We got GPS data up here. Almost finished here. Oops, we kind of stalled right there, didn't we? There we go, going again. It's kind of like when Mission Planner got to the end of things there and started doing the already gots. We'll see if we can move someplace else. So this is where we can change the Mavlink streaming rates to try to take some load off the flight controller. This Comlex General, it's still reading in up there. Go here, firmware summary, and this is going to be a flight. Wow, it knows where we're at. I haven't used QGroundControl, so I'm just playing around right now, but I am taking up your time. But I also did show you how to connect UDP port 5760 with Mavlink via Wi-Fi on a Crossfire nano diversity receiver in a Crossfire Micro TX version 2. Mavlink console, Mavlink inspector. Well, here's all our real-time sensors. And what we've got here, whoops, QGroundControl was unable to retrieve the full set of parameters from vehicle 1. This will cause QGroundControl to be unable to display its full user interface. If you are using modified firmware, you may need to resolve any vehicle startup areas to resolve the issue. If you are using standard firmware, you may need to upgrade to a newer version to resolve the issue. Okay, one more vehicle Components required. Set up prior to flight. I've never calibrated the compass on that. Okay, we're back in the place we were. So each one of these breaks out. If you click here, then you'll see all the sensors, different sensors from that particular subcategory over here that are coming over. I can't tell you how quickly I can if I go back into the Mavlink setup where you can control the frequency of each one of these. Not each one of these individually, but what they give you control of. And here's the count going up on the, this is at 1.8 hertz cycles per second. HRS, that's interesting. AHRS2, roll pitch, yaw values, altitude, battery status, GPS, GPS raw, satellites visible. Wow, it's up to 15 now. Yeah, that's what it says up here. Cool. Home position. We don't really have a valid home position yet. Hardware status. Anyway, inside here, you're going to find, all the different individual sensor points. There's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this particular one. System status. This one has more. This again is the, there's one I really like, vibration. I want to see that when it's flying. I want to see it graphed. And if you can graph these things. Nope, you can make that smaller. Anyway, I'm starting to just have fun here exploring. That's not what I need to be doing. A little bit more about what we're talking about here is just your, here's all your RC channels. This is the kind of stuff that's saved away for 18 channels on this. I was telling somebody last night, it seems like, to go into their telemetry logs and look at their ESC, which might be channel 3 on an airplane, and when they were switching into auto mode, which I can overlay those two in Mission Planner and know exactly when you switched into auto mode, and it will show you exactly what the output of RC channel 3 did at that instance. So this is all in real time. Here's the cycles per second on these subcategories. And they're weighted. Pressure, barometric pressure, temperature. So, again, hardware status, memory, free memory. Like I say, I'm just terrain report. I wonder if this is terrain following. Yeah, Mission Planner and the Ardu itself is terrain following. I'll be doing an experiment in that where I set it for 100 feet above the ground and then fly it towards a mountain where the elevation changes, and the platform better take care of it all on its own. And it's a little hard to do. You have to read in all the terrain data from Google Earth. Takes a while to do that. It's kind of hard to go out to a flying field and read all that in from a hot spot on a cell phone before the flight. But I'll be demonstrating it. Just because it's hard doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. This looks like a heads-up display. I have no idea. Anyway, there's QGroundControl running UDP. You have to go into, forget who asked about that, to whatever this is, application settings, I guess it is. This is vehicle setup, individual parameters. So application settings, com links. You're going to have to add a com link, and you're going to have to connect to the com link, and that will get that going. Yeah, it's not really flying, people. Real quick. Just reconnect with Mission Planner here. Yeah, you can do that with Mavlink. Want to run QGroundControl at the same time? Yeah, yep, you can't do that. Mavlink has exclusive use of that socket right now, port. It's really called a socket, but we'll call it a port. We don't have to go that deep. I'm pleased. Like I say, it's still not workable for me because of the simple 10 milliwatt output of the transceiver on the platform. 10 milliwatts is not much at all. It really isn't. With antennas with dB gain, you can go around the world. Not really, but you can change the distance by using antennas. For every 3 dB that you can increase, you'll double your distance. That's the general rule of thumb for wave propagation. 3 to 6, somewhere in there. So when you look at a Yagi antenna that is 13 dB gain, that antenna could take you out 4 times as far. If you divide it by 3, 3 fours are 12, throw the other one away. It's not going to do much for you. It'll do a third of another doubling. That simple 13 dB antenna will really let you step out there some more. Trying to do that, you're going to have an antenna tracker, all sorts of junk. The narrower the beam, the harder it is to target a platform, but it will go a further distance. But straight up, we'll just talk about that. You can put a crosshair or a pepper box antenna on your Crossfire transmitter instead of the horizontally polarized antenna to get that extra range, but then you're going to have a direction. You're going to have you're really going to have a hard time pointing at your platform with your control antenna then. So unless you've got a coax coming out of the top of the Crossfire transmitter going into a ground station with an antenna tracker feeding that antenna and pointing at your platform, setting up high gain antennas, it just gets crazy. And again, I won't be flying that far away, so. But this doesn't seem to be workable for me. But it does seem to be getting better. Each new time seems to be getting better for me. That should show you a little bit about Mavlink via Wi-Fi, Crossfire equipment. Also should answer another gentleman's question about UDP over QGroundControl. I didn't do QGroundControl and TCP. If you want me to do that, put it in the comments and I will. I'm not going to go back right now and do that. Okay, thank you guys. Okay, I lied, and it didn't take but a second. I did come back in here with this in TCP server mode and clicked add a TCP connection, and you remember it was 192.168.4.1, I think. Let me go back and yep, 192.168.4.1 and 5760. Click OK, click on that, and then click connect.
Manual flight mode.
And you can see right now it's reading in parameters up here. And so this is QGroundControl with a TCP link working. And that's again in application settings, com links. You have to tell QGroundControl how you're going to speak to the platform. Don't think you have to do that for telemetry radios, and I know you don't have to do it for a USB cable. And this, don't want to say it, this is running over here pretty quick. In this case, TCP. Oh, nope. That's about where UDP started getting a little sluggish, isn't it? Right up here, we can see. And again, we're going to see, I bet you dollars to donuts, that it won't read in all the parameters. So there's still a little tweaking needs to be done to this. And we don't have what I would call good Mavlink data here. But again, I'm not the Mavlink guru. Still kind of hung up here. Anyway, I thought I would just tag on to the end that the TCP does seem to work also. Again, tongue-in-cheek, a bit, whatever you want to say. Not great. And with only 10 milliwatts of transmission power, I don't think very far. Might be ways, well, you know, you could put in repeaters around your field if you wanted to. If you've got a football field and a football field side by side, you can put 4 repeaters on all 4 corners, and you can go probably another football field or so out, a little larger, a little larger. I'm not going to do that. I want something that just kind of works. Got 14 satellites. Wonder how much of all of this information is coming in. I'm just not familiar with QGroundControl. Almost read in all the parameters over here. I bet we're going to get that same error. Oh. Well, it's almost all the way across. Just like, there we go. Same error. Says it didn't read in all the, and there's all our sensors coming back. So, yeah, those hundreds and hundreds of sensors. We're doing 2 things here. We're getting about 21 sensors over via CRSF into the radio. I don't know that those are being passed to the Mavlink, but they're duplicated here with hundreds of other things real time with the Mavlink. With that, I'm going to shut the hell up tonight. Just wanted to add the information about the way to hook up both of these ways. Boy, do you just close down QGroundControl? Nah, we'll disconnect first. Can't connect there. All right. Thank you guys so much. Again.